Brandon Smith is joining me now from Training from the Ground Up, and today we are talking about joint health.
Yes.
Which we were talking about, you could go off in a lot of different things, but what are, I guess, the basics of keeping your joints healthy?
So number one is really movement. You know, if we look at how society's sort of changed, we've got all this furniture that keeps us really comfortable for long periods of time.
Yeah, aka binge watching.
Yes, exactly. So, you know, Stuart McGill showed that if you stay in, and he's the world's leading spinal researcher and biomechanist. So he showed that if you stay, let's say we're at your computer and we're here, right? You stay there for 20 minutes, the ligaments have permanently stretched out. It's on a microscopic scale, but they've changed. And they're not going to unchange, right?
No way.
In my mind, that translates to 20 minutes as kind of your cutoff. So you should be in motion. You should be moving every few minutes, which is why I tell a lot of people, especially if I have a client who's in pain, I tell them like, hey, why don't you try hanging out on the floor instead of on furniture? Well, I get uncomfortable. That's kind of the point.
Oh,
you know, we
so
want you to
move.
Exactly. You're going to get uncomfortable, you're going to move, and then you're going to go through something that Anna Hartman talks about. She's an athletic trainer or physical therapist who talks about tuning the joints. And you'll go through these things called archetypal postures. They're kind of genetically encoded, and they're postures that we go through to tune joints. You know, one of them being a deep squat, one of them being kind of this like 90-90 posture, and we'll kind of mess with our joints and sort of play around with where your limbs are, and that's you sort of just automatically tuning your joints and staying in motion.
Is that why a lot of people have started switching to like standing desks or the options to like raise or lower?
So this was one where, yeah, the option is probably the best way to go, and this was one I did definitely want to talk about because this isn't a problem. And this isn't a solution. The problem is when you're stuck in either one for too long. Because I've worked with people that are here, obviously, and I've worked with people that can't get out of here. They can't do this. And
so
in all
they're
truth,
just typing like this. Okay.
Yeah, they're stuck here. And honestly,
that hurts your back too.
It does. The people who are stuck here, they tend to have more issues than the people who are stuck here. In all truth, in my experience. So really, a good posture is a changing one.
So what is it, 20 minutes where if you're sitting, you're typing emails, you're doing what, for us it's like we're editing at the computers for at least an hour. Every 20 minutes you should kind of get up, take a little walk, and then come back? You
should do something. I mean, at the very least, like, stretch, you know? Like, wiggle your arms around. Yeah. And you know, just get in positions that are uncomfortable. My litmus test is like, can you breathe here? So like you get in a weird position that's really awkward and you're like, I can't breathe. Okay, chill and learn to breathe in that posture. Then your brain will give it to you and you'll own it. You know, and then you have control. What is it?
Is the back one of the biggest things that you see people with joint health or have, I guess,
honestly,
not
the breathing,
as good?
the breath. The breath is where I see the most issue. Like a lot of people are, you know, they're chest breathers, they don't use their diaphragm very well, and that's a whole topic that we can spend a very long time on. So
that's
briefly,
for another day.
It is. Postural Restoration Institute, 90-90 breathing. Look it up, it'll help you. So that's where I tend to start with a lot of people, and that tends to help a lot of issues right off the bat. You know, if someone comes in with an issue, whether it's hip, shoulder, neck, knee, we start with the breath first, because if you're dysfunctional here, in the center of your mass, if you're dysfunctional in the center, you can't expect that all the appendages that attach to that center to be functional. If you think about the torso, the trunk, you know, it's meant to transmit force upper to lower and across, which means if it's not functioning correctly, it's not going to transmit force correctly, which means you're also going to get messed up input. You know, you're not just getting messed up output, you're getting messed up proprioceptive input.
That's something I would have never correlated with joint health.
Yeah, absolutely though, yeah.
Who would have thought? But we can go off of that for next time for, you could go down a wormhole for a long time.
We could.
But they can find you at Training from the Ground Up. And if you have a topic that you want us to discuss, you can send it in, eBailey@klst.net. Everyone, I'll be back.